It's Lynn Rene MacDonald for Live Talk Forum. It's Sunday night, 7:15. What did you say, Steve?
I said you guys all have nice color, the color of fever.
Oh, great. Steve said we're all sick and we all have nice color, the color of fever. Anyway, so thank you all for coming. We're going to give you a few minutes. We have a few people here. The weather is wild. Lots of snow is happening, I think, on the East Coast, mid to East Coast here in Virginia at least. I think Maryland's getting hit with some of this snow as well. So hopefully you guys are tuning in or get to tune in because I don't see many of you here yet. But thank you for coming before you even come. Thanks. So tonight we are doing our live talk forum at 7:15 live from the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon. We have Steve in our audience and Madeline, and we have Jennifer and Rachel with us tonight as well. Usually we have more people, but like we said, we've been under the weather. We have some kind of flu thing going on, and we're just kind of working through that. And also, it's big storms tonight. So that's what's happening. Tonight we're going to do our show. If you want to do a continuation of what we were talking about last week, you are more than welcome to share your chart, where your Venus is. Send us your chart so we can take a look at that and give you insights into where you're supposed to meet your partner. You can send it to the shop at 757-559-8680. You can also donate to us, or if you like or want to support what we do. You can share our talks and our shows, please, and tell people about us so that we can help change the world from love, because that's what we do. So tonight you can ask any questions that you want from love, based in love. You get the answer from highest knowing, whether it's issues and problems that you're having with your family or lovers or personal stuff or health issues. As you know, we also have a live talk forum type of show, which is on Friday nights, except at 7:15, and that's 6 and 12 medical intuitive. So now we have two shows, 7:15 Friday and Sunday night. One is the one tonight, live talk forum, and Friday nights is 6 and 12 medical intuitive. Okay, and thank you all for coming. I'm glad we're here. We can continue where we left off last week with the Venus placements in your chart, or you can ask any questions. One of the things that I thought would be cool about to do today also is dreams. So if you're having a dream, we'll talk about all having to do with dreams and what dreams are, how they work with your soul, what houses they come from, or astrological placements, or who is, like, what energy is responsible in the stars for your dreams, and for metaphysical stuff as well. So we'll talk about lots of cool stuff tonight, and anytime you're ready, let's go. We'll do our thing. Thank you, everybody, for coming. All right, so who has any questions? Anyone?
Not yet, but Laura has been throwing up hearts and lots of love to everyone. And
Thank
Wendy
you, Laura.
Hall says, hey.
Hi, Laura. Hi, Wendy. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I don't know if any of you are like us. We got something going on, but we're getting well. We're getting well. So thanks, everybody, for coming. All right. In the meantime, if we don't have anybody who has any questions, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about dreams and where dreams come from. That's what I'm being guided. Unless you have a question. Do you have somebody coming up? No? Jen?
Nope.
Not yet? All right. Going to have some water here.
Oh, Laura got in there with a $5.
Laura's coming up with $5 here. All right. Thanks, God, for God's honest truth. Laura Mirabili. Hi, Laura. Thanks for coming. I do wish you were here in person. I miss you so. Okay, so what do we got, God, for Laura? What's coming up from her with her $5? Well, they're telling me you got to kick the crud right now. In other words, you're sick. You got some yuck going on in you. It's going to take some time. You need to get a lot more rest right now. And Laura's birthday is in Virgo, right? And universe is telling me they're really handing it to you right now with everything that you got going on. If it isn't your job, it's a financial thing. It's the stuff going on with your kids and your family, really tough emotional challenges, and we're all going through this, and it's really tough stuff. Same thing with here, and one of the biggest problems is because each of our challenges are designed to bring us on a personal level to our newest goals, our newest dreams, our newest lives here in the new earth world and into the future. So it is no accident that we're all going through similar but very different things. So they're telling me this is par for the course with you, Laura. You're right in alignment with everybody, with everything that's going on. really big life challenges. I don't know if you've been thinking about moving out of your house, but there's something about you leaving your house, moving out of your house. And I'm wondering why that is. So I'm just going to ask them and just wait 1 minute here. And we're going to see what comes in. What's the God's honest truth, God, for Laura? What's coming in for her with the house thing? Interesting. I get new opportunities, new friends, new social circles. Are you thinking about taking that job at your sister's or a relative's, something about a massage parlor or a massage place? I feel like there's a great propensity or possibility of you doing that. But there is some challenges there, and I feel like this has a new friends, new social circles, new things coming in. So I feel like you're thinking about this, and this is a possibility, and for you to have a new house with this. However, while it's exciting and I get in that energy and it feels exciting, these people, no offense to your sister, but you know what I'm talking about. These people are superficial. They're not really your people. So while they can be your people, they're just not. They're just not in alignment with the same love energy as you, but I do feel like given the circumstances and the challenges that you're looking to connect with family. Family has always been really important to you, so you're looking to hold on to that and connect, and you've had some opportunities, and then you're concerned about finances and money, and everybody's going through it. This is Uranus and Taurus, or you could say Uranus and Taurus, but Taurus is your second house of, self-worth as well as beautiful things and work. So this is going to trigger everybody's money thing, especially, Christmas just ended. People have bills coming in. They're concerned about what's going on in the economy. So everybody's being hit with this crazy energy of, oh no, fears of, I don't have any money and I'm working so hard, and then this happens, and then I have to deal with this, and it's a lot. It really is a lot. So your soul in some level is trying to reach out and grab for something that's going to give it a solace, a grounding, a good way to be. Ultimately, if you go there and you uproot and you do all this stuff, I feel like you're going to think about it for a longer time period, Laura, before you actually go. I feel like you might travel back and forth to Richmond to consider this job and get in this space, and maybe do it a few times a week, because I feel like your mom and your grandmother keep you pulled here because you are such a loving person, and there is Saturnian Earth world. What am I looking for? Responsibilities. Yes, Saturnian Earth world responsibilities that that you, Laura, have a karmic agreement with your grandmother and doing the right thing. And a lot of people, can't do that stuff, but everybody's agreements and things are different. And when you have a lot of Capricorn energy or Saturn influences in your chart, you are compelled to do the right thing in Earth world more often than not. Of course, always there's challenges within everything. But so I feel like you will test it out for a while. So there's a possibility of you going forward and doing this. But in the end, I feel like you may do this for a little while and just travel, and that may be your best decision. But there is a possibility for you to move and the promise of a new and better life. But it's really based on illusions. It's not really based in truth of God or love. And there's too many things here that you're not ready to let go of it karmically. And that would be including us, right? Working with us, because you have a soul family here with us and what we do. Hey, I'm surprised you came out this beautiful night. Thanks for coming, Mark. So anyways, so that's what's coming in. I know you're going to make the right decision in your heart. I don't feel like you want to leave your responsibilities for your grandmother and your mother, but there's going to be a crossroads here for big decisions, because can you make it financially? But I feel like there's a big breakthrough coming with all of this, if and when and that of which you are in your heart, and do the right thing. So, and you'll know what that is, right? So that's what comes in for you in your 5-minute reading. This is what's going on with you. Also, your kids are obviously hitting really tough crossroads as well. They have to man up and start taking responsibility for themselves. Basically, it's time for them to grow up. And you know that, and they know that, but as a mom, it doesn't make it any easier, right? Sometimes, right? Anyway, so anything else for Laura, God? Nope. They just keep showing me images of your dad in this wheelchair, which I think is a fucking riot, and he's happier than a pig in shit, right? And he's like rolling around. There's something about, he just likes it. He likes it, and he's around you all the time. So FYI, that comes in for you too. All right, so who's next? Thanks, Laura. Hope to see you here soon. Go ahead.
Candy Freeland's here. She said
Hi, Candy.
She said the last 2 nights when she closes her eyes to go to sleep, she sees really bright, huge flashes of light. The night before, she said it was like seeing the sunrise. She'd like your thoughts on that.
All right, God. What's the God's honest truth? Thanks for coming, Candy. Great to hear from you. Thanks. Okay. What's the God's honest truth here? She says she sees bright lights, and when she closes her eyes, the last 2 nights, she said?
Yeah.
All right, this has to do with a bunch of different things, multidimensional changes on the planet, right? New wave influxes of energies coming in and the vibration on the planet rising. So what's happening is it almost feels like when you get in those spaces, maybe you can answer this. I don't know if you can answer this quickly or not, but I feel like there's almost like a fear involved in this. Like you get a flash, you see a bright light, and then there's like a fear, and then it shuts down, right? And part of this has to do with just being afraid of the new things that are happening. Because I feel like what this is like, it's almost like, you know, the saying like where you say, oh, I'm going into the light. This is like a multi-dimensional space, and this is new and it's different, but it comes in with new gifts for you. And as you acclimate and get more used to these things kind of happening, there's going to be other stuff coming in as well for you. I'm just looking and seeing what is going on. Nothing to be afraid of, but what's interesting is what comes in with, there's something about a bigger light, a blue, yellowish, and green, lightish, bright light comes in for you. What's interesting about that is something about a troll dimension, all right? So, like, troll is elemental. So this is about you tapping in to different dimensions and opening up your newer gifts or new gifts that are coming in for you and all of us with your new destiny and your new journey. And so it's like kind of acclimating. So neat stuff like this is going to keep on happening to you. So get a notebook out, log it, write it down. Anything else for Candy? Yeah, they're just telling me don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it, you know, because instantly when something new or something different or something strange happens, we're like, oh, you know, and we freak out and we shut it down, right? Especially, Candy, if you're like Aquarius or you're an air sign, because like, you know, they tend to like freak out, you know, it's anxiety and fear and stress. Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra will have those spaces of anxiety and stress, you know, not knowing what it is and freaking out and being fearful in that moment. But I feel like you're going to acclimate to this. I feel like you're going to start logging it and writing stuff down. I feel like more information is going to be coming in for you. And I feel that you are going to step into, it's almost like they're showing me this big white light, but it's yellowish and greenish and blue at different times. And I feel like it's elemental energy. There's something about a troll dimension here. And then there's something about possibly you writing some kind of book or books or exploring avenues in different dimensions to write books or write about in. But it's funny, they're giving me an image almost like it's a big giant portal and you have to step into it and go into that space, right? And there's almost like a fear of, oh my God, what if I don't come back, right? But again, this is your fears. This is about your new destiny, your new direction, your new places to be and go, and new dreams and doorways opening up. So this is really kind of cool. This is like a new metaphysical shit to do, you know? Exciting. Okay, so anything else for Candy with that? Would that answer all her questions? Do you have anything else with that?
She says that totally what you're saying makes sense. Mm-hmm. She says she's an Aquarius and thank you. And she says she misses you guys.
Yeah, I miss you guys too. Thanks. Yeah, it's hard. These times are fucking wild. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thanks. All right, so what else do we have? Who else is next?
Next we have Nikki Oppers asking for a $5.
Nikki Opper and your $5. All right. What's going on with Nikki Opper, gone? Big changes, big multidimensional healing from past lifetimes with you and your new beau. For both of you, clearly the fact that he's sick tells us that he doesn't want to leave and go back to France. So his soul is creating this so that he doesn't have to. So there's some stuff you guys have to work out so you can get through these barriers, all right, for your new great life. Because there is a propensity for him not to come back. And for you to not see each other again. And this is about past lives. This is about that karma. So this is about making decisions for new lives together, new dreams, new destinies, and working out this stuff. I feel like you both already know this. I feel, you've already started getting the rings, which we talked about and you saw, or you showed me rather. I'm just looking here. Anything else for Nikki with this? Is your mom watching tonight? Why would I ask that question, right? I'm just curious if your mom is watching. And I'm wondering if your mom knows anything about this yet, or if you've brought this up to her, because there's a potential for some storms with what's coming with all of this. I feel there's also challenges with your daughter, Evelyn. There's definitely challenges there with that. And let's see. Anything else for Nikki? I get new beginnings, new job, new career, new life. All of this is coming in for both of you, for your guy, your partner, yourself, your child. So a whole new house, a whole new family, a whole new destiny, and all this is coming in the next 6 to 8 to 12 to 14 months. Stuff has to be hammered out now, though, to be worked out. But you guys are definitely still at that crossroads. I feel like you're doing excellent with it. You seem to be talking to God and universe and praying on stuff. I feel like you're doing that together, and you're doing a great job. That's why everything is working out in the way it is. So good for you guys. All right. What about you, Madeline? Do you have anything for tonight?
Not really, honey.
Not really? Madeline says, not really. Okay. How about you, Mark? You have anything tonight?
I do.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Actually,
Mark says something. Go ahead.
I actually have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is Lucky allergic to milk bones?
When you say milk bones,
Like little milk bone treats?
milk bone treats or actual milk bones?
Yeah, the milk bones.
So they are literal milk bones. Yeah, I don't feel like those are really great for him. And it's because they're like wheat based.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a cookie. What's going on with him? Because the only time I might give something like that to Lucky is if he's having upset stomach and stuff like that. You understand? Like almost like a person who has is pregnant and they get morning sickness, so they eat crackers. So it's kind of like an equivalent of that. But because he doesn't do well with like wheats and stuff, and they inflame him, it would make sense that he would be worse. So I might find a different snack that's like a milk bone kind of thing to help him settle his stomach that wouldn't be with wheat. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A wheat product or a wheat or a grain kind of thing.
Okay.
Do you see what's coming? What's going on with him?
His stomach is starting to get a little out of whack again. He was doing so good. I mean, so good.
And then you feel like it's related to that, giving him
I
them?
do, yeah, because I think you're allowed to give him like up to like 6 of the medium ones a day or something.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll do that because the dog is starving all the time. He can't
Right.
get enough, So,
Okay.
yeah, so, and it seemed like when I kind of started to feel like he was better, I started giving him milk bones again.
Yeah. So
and then it got worse.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that's because of the stuff that's in them.
Yeah.
But I also feel. Let me just see what comes in for him with this. All right. So when you're doing the cell salts, give him 9, 10, and 11. Okay, with the stomach stuff, and then I want you to, if you're not using those already, right, switch that up. So when he starts to have these issues, those are for his stomach. Okay, yeah, 9, 10, and 11, and then I would do that. for like 2 to 3 days and see how he does, right?
Right.
And then I'm just wondering what comes in. And then, of course, lay off the milk bones. Right. One of the things that people do is they're like, well, I can give him 6 milk bones, I can give him, 6 full milk bones that are like this big, but I wouldn't give them to him if I could help it. But one of the ways, like for people and you, if you're going to give him something like that, I would break the bone in half. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But also what comes in is there's something that's not in the food. There's something that he could have in that food. So if you can like put the ingredients together, that will help him feel more full. Do you see what I'm saying? Right. So that he doesn't feel like because when I get in his space, you're right, he feels like he's just not getting enough. Yeah. That's why he wants to eat more. He wants to eat more. And I feel like it has to do with he's not having enough, like a good solid, what is the word I'm looking for, God? Like substance in his food. It's just that there just isn't enough in there. Okay. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. Okay. So if you put the stuff together, we can take a look at whatever it is you're feeding him, and we'll really go down next time we get together. Sound good?
Yep.
Yeah. But for now, I would give him the 9, 10, 11, and I would give him 3 sets of these, if you can, 3 times a day, right? Mm-hmm. But you might not even need to do that. You may find that you give him, one of each of these throughout the day, right? And then the next day, and you may see that this goes away. I hate to do things excessively if you don't have to. Not because it's really going to hurt him, but really because it just may not be necessary. Do you know what I mean? And he already has some issues with that.
Right.
Yeah. And that's because, it's just it's funny. He comes in saying he doesn't want to do what he doesn't want to do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No. Yeah. So if you want him to take those, he doesn't want to do it. You know anyone else like that? Right? Yeah. So it's not that he really doesn't like them, and he knows that they help him, but he's like, he has some Uranus type of energy or Aquarius type energy, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm not taking those. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a spoiled boy.
Well, he looks at me.
He's a blessed boy, really.
Yeah. I fill his bowl.
It's Mark's dog.
Nice hot meal and everything. Mm-hmm. And then I know I shouldn't be doing this, but the only way I can get him to take his cell salts is I'll sprinkle them in his food. I know that's not the best, but I'll put his food down. He'll get so excited, his tail's wagging and everything. Then I'll sprinkle the cell salts in there, and he'll look back at me with a super dirty look, like like he's angry.
Right, but even if you like with the meat, did you take like a little bit of meat and put it in your hand with the salts to get him to eat it?
Yeah.
You can stick them like literally in there. You know what I'm saying?
He looks at me like I'm betraying him.
Yeah. Pray on it. like you're what?
Like I'm betraying him.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's ask God to change this for Mark from love in the purest way, or in best way, from love in the purest form. Let's see. And the best solutions for this for Mark now, please, and for Lucky as well, so that he gets what he needs to be well in the healthiest way from love. But that is what comes in. Pray on everything, ask the universe, and create it before, so you have the best outcome. Okay. All right? Cool. All right. Yep. Are you good?
Yeah.
Or you got another one?
I did.
Okay, go ahead, yeah.
If I have time.
Yeah.
So I've been, just insanely busy with side work. I'm
good.
Actually probably going to have to start turning stuff down if it keeps coming in because I just can't get to it. There's so much. And I was wondering if, now or soon would be the time to just go out on my own.
That's funny, yeah. As you're speaking to me, that's it. Yeah, it's time for you to do you. In the end, you're just not making, it's not that you don't make a decent money, you do, right? But I feel like you can just make so much more and be so much happier doing your own thing. Does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is time for you definitely to do that. I feel this is going to be massive boosts in your self-esteem too, which is really cool. In other words, it's going to make you feel good about you. Yeah. And why shouldn't it, right? And that's not uncommon in society. Men especially, and many people are attached to their job as their self-worth. That's why so many times people spin out into depression when they don't have a job and they have a really hard time, or they lose their job because their self-worth is all tied up into being able to support their family. You know what I mean? Or have the money they need and everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, so it feels like there'll be an increase in your self-worth. A lot of good things are going to come from this. And it feels exciting, it feels new, it feels fun, and it feels good for you. Yeah, like a whole new beginning, yeah. Also, what comes in is you won't be so damn focused on Lucky, too, and you'll let Lucky just be Lucky, so Mark can do his own thing, and then Lucky won't be so anal with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because Lucky wants to just be like, chill, you know? Yeah. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually better for both of you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. All right. So you good?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So who's next?
Molly texted her chart and would like a Venus Libra reading.
Ooh, Molly wants a Venus Libra reading. Oh, Molly, my God. There's like a load of shit going on here on these things. Your transit. This is Molly's transit chart. You ready for this guy? It's just like a fucking bear. Look at it. Can you see all those like lines going crazy in there? Molly, you got a lot of shit going on, girl. Can everybody see it? It's fucking insane. It's wild. It's wild. It just made me laugh, okay? All right. So, all right. Let me see. What's the God's honest truth for Molly? Where's her Venus? Molly wants a Venus reading tonight to find out where her Venus is in her transit and what's going on with her. It's at 25 degrees in Cancer, conjunct her Leo in her 7th house. All right, so she has Venus in Libra. I got Venus in Libra too. Mine's in my 10th. Yours is, all of a sudden my phone got really bright. I don't know. I must have pressed on something, but it's cool. Okay. Let's see. So we have, all right. Hold on. I got to make sure it stays here and I can read it. What's the God's honest truth for Molly? Best gifts, wisdom, guidance. So relationships, Venus in Libra is relationships are your life, okay? But that's also about self-love, and there's big challenges there, right? All right, and so Venus in Libra is about making relationships your life. You also have it in, so that's in the 7th house, but you also have it in Cancer, and then you have it conjunct Leo. So it's like a triple whammy of love placement. So love is like, woo, powerful in your chart. So your 1st and 7th house are connected, right? Your transit Venus is in the 1st house, so is your vertex, okay? And they're about conjunct each other in Capricorn in the 1st house. Interesting enough, this tells me that your relationships the best relationships for you, and your whole life is about transformation in relationships with people on so many different levels and so many different ways, with family, that's Cancer, with home, with the mother, with the father, which is the Leo energy, right? You also have it in your heart, transformation in your heart, transformation in your emotional space, as well as in the 7th house is the house of Libra and relationships, okay? So that said, across from there, you have your 1st house. So this is all tied up. Your best relationships have to come or will come with your spiritual journey, which is self-healing. You have Sagittarius and Capricorn at 29 degrees as you're ascending. Freedom and truth of God, that's Sagittarius, higher knowing, and then your Capricorn is Earth world, Saturnian, karma, law of universe kind of thing. So you have a balance in there. So this is about revamping the way that you think, but not just about other people, but of yourself first and foremost. No you, no relationships, right? So your journey here, based on your natal chart and your transits and what's going on, it's interesting that we have this little vertex here, because you do have a vertex in Leo. And you do have the vertex transit, and that was in your vertex is in Leo, but it's conjunct your 7th house. So I do feel, and that's in the 8th house, and this is about really profound times and moments in our lives that change us forever, right? A person, place, thing, or event is your vertex, and being in the 8th house, that's really powerful shit. The 8th house is transformation, that's scorpionic energy, but it's conjunct your 7th house as well. So this has the potential at some point in your chart, with the transits, with everything going on in your life, to have a potential person, place, or thing that's going to change your life forever. And I do feel that at some point that may happen 2 or 3 times in your chart throughout your lifetime, that vertex will be activated. This is very much in your heart space. So whatever comes in, I do feel like it's going to be a person in this particular case, because you have so much powerful placements. You know, your Venus having to do with Cancer, Leo, and the 7th house in Libra, right? I do feel that because you have those placements, this is profound energy in your life. So there's much healing in relationships with your mother, your father, the family, yourself, right? And that's that rising sign in your Sag in the 12th house is gaining freedom, getting clear of, you know, the garbage and the beliefs that are disillusioning that we have about relationships, about people, about love, and what we think should be, which isn't truth of God, which then fucks up all of our relationships or truth of love, right? It's our beliefs and our ideas of that, both in Saturn's Earth world as well as metaphysically with universe or all that is God. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to see what else. I want to see where your transit, your transit Venus is in the 1st house as well. That's across from the 7th. All right. So I'm just looking at these things. Where's your transit vertex as well? What I'm doing is I'm looking around to see if anything connects with anything else for you in this space. And I feel like you are working on these things. You're doing your spiritual work and you're working on these things in your relationships. But there's nothing that triggers any kind of really big massive event coming in with that right now, right? It's not like you have like a planet hitting your vertex with another something conjunct that or opposition that. Right now you have vertex. This is interesting too. You do have it opposition Uranus, so definitely go in there. Is it opposition Uranus or your black moon Lilith? I'm trying to see which is which here. I feel like it's your black moon Lilith, which is good because that feels like it could be some healing there. But I don't feel like that's a placement that's going to bring somebody new in at this time, at this level, because this person would be somebody you would change your life, right? Somebody you'd want to marry, or somebody you'd fall in love with instantly, or somebody you'd have a kid with or get pregnant with, or a whole new destiny comes in with them, or dreams that you've been asking God for, or it could be an event where you go somewhere, right? Right now, it feels like you're mainly working on healing because there's not a lot of other things going on here that to me connect. I mean, there's a shit going on in the center, which is all those lines, as you can see, but what I see in that is lots of placements and lots of healing energies and like almost like the stars working on you, universe working on you, your soul working on you. So I feel like this is all what's already going on a subconscious and conscious level, because we do this work whether we're doing it consciously or not. That's the grand design of God. Our souls call in what is best for us. So I feel like that's why when I started laughing about all this shit going on in your chart, I totally get it, right? Been there, and it happens to all of us as we're going through all these massive transformations. I mean, because this really is massive transformation. All those lines, those lines are all these aspects in your chart, right? So I do feel like there's massive healing here. At this time, I don't feel like somebody's coming in. I feel like this is like a personal stuff you're doing to work on you at this time. And I feel like it reflects in this. I also feel like it's finishing up the end of last year, being that it's January, the last of the calendar year, as we go into February, into the new calendar year for our lives. Sometimes it takes a couple months, sometimes longer to finish up shit that was from last year. But I feel like your soul is just working through this stuff and healing and working on healing stuff. And that's pretty much what I see for you right now, but I do feel like there's going to be some profound shit coming in as these things move forward. I don't, the closest placement or transit that comes in for you that's moving around would be Mars. Mars moves pretty quick, but I don't feel like that's another really 12 to 18 months out right now. Yeah. before it would even come around to that, from what I see here. All right, girl. But again, we can look at your progressed. I'm just giving you your guidance and wisdom from spirit through the chart that you've given me, your natal and transit. And this, of course, there's more layers that you can explore in this. You, as your subconscious chart, your progressed moon, as you know, and you can also do horary chart on this if you're looking to find out exactly when you want to meet somebody. But I feel like there's a potential for somebody to come in the next 12 to 18 months. What's really wild about the Mars energy is it may very well be a very intense scorpionic energy, or Plutonian energy. Somebody, let's say, has a Scorpio moon or a Scorpio rising, or it could be Mars conjunct your ascending, or Mars conjunct their ascending, or Mars energy, but it feels more like a Plutonian thing when I get in that space. All right, girl? All right, so there you go. Enjoy. There you go. Thanks. All right, so who's next? Maddie Jo, she got a question in the audience. Go ahead. What you got, girl?
I didn't have a question. I don't know. I want to know if you felt anything coming for me.
All right, you know what you said? Maddie Jo's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Maddie Jo. You're going to have a great birthday. A great birthday. Why? Because we asked God for that. You're going to have a great one, okay? So they tell me, don't you be sad for a minute about it. 20 is not old. 20 is new beginnings. It's about partnerships. 20 isn't old. We get all crazy with it sometimes with our stuff, you know. I get you're going to have a great birthday. They're telling me you have to decide that you're going to have that. Thank you, God, for that for us from love, right? Yeah. All right, so let me just see what comes in. I feel like you're going to have a great dinner. I feel like you have a lot of beautiful gifts, and you're going to love your gifts. And they're telling me to tell you to let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself have fun. They're going, Jesus Christ in heaven, girl. Let go. Let go and live. Thanks God for that for us. And the best birthday ever for Maddie and for all of us from love. And the best way for us to know there's something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. Clear, heal, and change, and let us be free of all emotional stuff, emotional anything, and all energy that is toxic, unwell, unbehooving, and would stop that from happening for you and all of us from love. Thanks for the best food, the best gifts, the best happiness, the best joy, the best everything, blessings, fun, rest, happiness, best day, right? From love. And the best birthday ever. Thank you, God, for that for us. Right? Yeah. Cool. So that's how you do it, people. Best birthday, best dreams. If you're feeling sad about it, ask God to free you from it. Clear it out. Change it. Heal it. Create what you want to have. Create your happiness. All right? You got this, girl. Anything else with this? Okay. What you got, Jim?
Molly said, thank you so much, Lynn, for my bear reading.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you. All right. Yeah, we miss you in the back tonight, girl. I wouldn't want to come out in this rainy stuff either. It's been like not 1,000 degrees, but the opposite of that. It's been really fucking freezing here in Virginia for a long time now. I was hoping that we would get some snow, but it's not snowing here. So everybody enjoy the snow. I love the snow. Snow is Christ energy. It's transformation. And it's healing, and it's beautiful. Oh, I can't even. Okay, so who's next?
Well, Teresa
Thanks, Molly.
Teresa Courtney Lloyd was actually late tonight to our show because she was out playing in the snow.
That's cool. Send pics, girl. Send pics or post them on your Facebook. I'd love to see them. Yeah, I can live vicariously through you.
She says she's up for a 5. She says nothing in particular. Dream-wise, she says hers are weird, and they often have to do with people who have passed.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. That gives me some direction to go in on your 5 as well. People of your past. People who have been in your life in your past. I also feel like some of them are about people who have passed on who are in your life. I feel like you're doing some medium work there as well. So I do feel like you're multidimensionaling, kind of like Candy, just in a little bit different way, unique to yourself. I feel you are stepping into new gifts, and they're weird. Of course they're weird because everything is metaphysical, and in Earth world we tend to see things like just like this, right? based on Earth world being so solid and all the beliefs in Earth world, magic is hard to wrap our heads around. So when you're dreaming, that's totally what this is. It's going into your soul, into your own special space of God or love, and getting within those spaces within your soul, what I call portals in your soul, what universe guides me to tell you is portals in your soul of where you store stuff, right, from lifetimes, right? Sometimes it's just bits and pieces. Sometimes it's entire lifetimes. Sometimes it's just processing. It's the things that we carry within us in our energy, right? So when you go in these spaces, your soul will pull out things for your healing, for your understanding, for your gifts, for your tools, for whatever it is that you need to heal you or address things as it works things out and it understands things both in Earth world and metaphysically, right? So your soul does these things. It's super fascinating. And it's super magical as well. So a lot of times dreams seem really strange because what happens is sometimes our soul combines what's happening here in Earth world with what happened, in 1743 and how they're both related. And then like tonight I had like I did some work with one of my clients and they had a really bizarre sexual dream, right? And it was really strange and it's rough shit. So I'm not going to say what the dream was about. And, but the reason that happened is because she was having issues with working it out. How can I be a mom? How can I have a baby? And how can I still be a partner? And how do I still have sex with somebody? And how do I integrate all these energies and be in a healthy space of this, right? So her soul was figuring it out. But meantime, she's getting some weird ass sexual images and things that were kind of grossing her out, right? But that's all our people stuff. So her soul is working out this crazy stuff. And a lot of times these dreams are going to be just bizarre and strange, right? And we don't understand them, but if you ask, you shall receive. And this is how I get all my answers too. I'm like always talking to God, right? Always talking to love. So these dreams, of course, are going to be naturally strange. Some are more stranger than others. This is why they go to bits and pieces. Sometimes you'll ask God to heal something in Earth world, right? And you may think it's not a big deal, but it may be connected to 15 or 33 lifetimes that you had that have some form of energy all intertwined in this energy as to why you, let's say, can't keep a job, right? Let's say your self-worth is horrible and you can't hold a job and you don't know why, right? Well, your soul will automatically, and you'll be like, God, I want to free myself from this. I want to heal this. I want to clear this. I want to change this. And I want the best way to be from love in place of this. And give me and thank you for me holding the best job and having the greatest jobs and having the best life and changing all this now, please, and not having these troubles and these issues and this heartbreak with jobs for me, and clear, heal, and change this and put the best way to be from love. And you say that prayer, you put it out there, your soul goes to work on it with God, with love, or universe, right? Angels, your guides, right? So your soul starts automatically working and doing this work for you. So what it will do is a lot of times it will pull out bits and pieces of past life stuff that is extremely bizarre, right? That you won't understand, right? In the moment. And people call me all the time. They're like, Lynn, I had this dream. I don't understand what the fuck is going on. And I'm like, this is because of this, or this is because your self-worth over here is in the gutter over here. And this is because you have this energy that you're carrying around over here was because you were never good enough and somebody in another job did their job better than you, and you always felt weak and that you never were really great at this job. So there's 1,000,001 different things and lifetimes and processing and assessments that we make that aren't always the truth of love or God, but our souls, right, in the energy that they are sometimes, right, in a less than self-love space and with many, 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 many lifetimes of magical gifts that we are, as well as experiences, life experiences that we've had. Our soul assesses these things and processes these things, and sometimes these things are complex and we don't understand them and they're challenging, but this is what it's doing, right? It's processing, it's healing itself, all right? And you'll be able to see what it's doing. Sometimes it'll take several dreams to heal certain things, depending on how big you ask what it is that you're asking for with this, right? So when you ask God for something in a reality, you have to clear out that stuff that blocks everything in the way of that, because everything is energy. With your job, so more often than not, like we were talking about with Mark, your self-worth for so many people is tied into having a job, being able to take care of their family. And if their self-worth is in the gutter or they can't get a job, well, then they get depressed, they can get fucked up, they can become an addict, they can do so many different things and avenues in people world, right? And they don't understand why this is, right? When really what happens is, we have to go within to heal these things in us, right? We heal these things in us. We create our destiny. We create our greatest jobs. We clear the energy out, and our soul already does that. The second we ask in a prayer, it starts working on our realities, right? Because it's always connected from our highest heart self to everything that is God and love, right? So these are all ways that our soul works in dreams to help itself, to heal itself, to process, to understand what happened, and as well as to heal itself, right? Also, other reasons they do this, your soul will do this, is it taps into different dimensions for different healing gifts, for different understanding, for different types of magic, right? As well as things to bring into earth world reality from your destiny, right? In other words, from your new future destiny, like Candy getting these visions, right? These visions in her that she said were they dreams? Is that what she said?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's seeing these bright white lights. It's the same kind of thing. Her soul is opening up into these new avenues, these new dimensions, these new places to get these new places in her to get more information so she can go and go on her now new destiny, which really was her destiny to begin with all her life. This whole entire journey is all bits and pieces of the tools that she needed in Earth realm to accumulate so she can move into these spaces, right? Both metaphysically and in Earth world, right? These are all different ways that we use dreams and work with dreams or visions and all that is God or love multidimensionally, right? Whether we hear things, see things, dream things, and you can ask God for whatever you want with this. So you, Teresa, I feel are doing a similar thing as Candy. You're tapping into these gifts, right? So you could also do, notebooks like where you write stuff down to remember them. I can't tell you how many times I do my channeling in my work, and, I don't necessarily say I don't remember, but I really don't retain the information, where I tap into it. I can always ask and receive because it's infinite. God is infinite, because all I'm doing, or what we're doing when we tap into these spaces, is we are tapping into what you would call, what is that Sagittarius placement? That it's either 23, 24, 25, 26 degrees of Sagittarius in every single one of our charts, which is your galactic center, right? Your galactic center, Sagittarius, is the sign of higher knowing, right? So you're tapping into all that is God in your galactic center, right? Or what I call the galactic center is to get the information that you need, and that's what you're really doing when you dream, right? You're tapping into these spaces. Same thing. When I ask God for something, what's the God's honest truth of this? What's the God's honest truth of that? I'm tapping into all that is God. That's what you're doing. You're working with different energy and a different understanding than, for the most part, they believe or teach in Earth world, Okay, so I feel you're going to be going more down into these avenues. I love that you were playing in the snow. That's really good and healthy. I'm almost jealous. I could really use it at least like an hour or so in the snow. So thanks God for that for me. And any let's see. Let me see, what else? Anything else for Teresa as well? And, yeah, they're telling me you're a kid at heart, and that's what's so amazing, and that's what's so great about all of us. We should be going out, we should be having fun, and they're telling me to tell you to keep on doing it, girl, keep on doing it. So this is what comes in for you, the learning about dreams and what's going on. Journal, make sure that you play like you were in the kayak, we talked about that in the past. So do things, you're very active doing things, have fun, go out and have fun and enjoy this time. And really, we all need to be going out and having more fun. We get in these ruts, and these times are so tough physically. Go out there and do and have fun. Think about what you love to do and do it. Okay? All right. So, and if you have any questions, Teresa, just holler. Okay, girl? All right. You're not doing questions tonight, Ray? Jen is. Okay. Go ahead. Did you have a question, Steve?
Love, money, or housing, and love, why am I always attracted to people that don't seem to be available? Too young, married, whatever.
Okay. That was like multiple questions.
I was like, what?
In one question, I'm like, what?
Whatever comes in, whatever you get on me finding housing, whatever.
Okay, housing, love,
and
money.
And
is that?
money, yeah.
Okay, so Steve is asking. So basically, he's asking for a $5, and he's going housing, love, money.
Yeah.
What is coming in for him, right? I think you're. What I don't think. So I feel. All right. What's coming in is I feel you're doing a lot better financially than you really think that you are. What's coming in is a revamping of understanding what exactly you're spending on what you're spending and ways to work with that energy. I do feel like this is a better salary that you had in a long ass time, and there's a lot of new beginnings here and good things. I also feel like the room is going to be great for you, renting a nice room with its own separate entrance, and on the water is going to be super healing. There's going to be a lot of growth and maturing with all of this, and these are all good things. I feel as soon as you sit down, because you've taken a lot of stuff out of your life, which were just unneeded expenses, they're also telling me that it behooves you to settle down in terms of being so worried about having to help your kids out all the time, right? Your kids are adults and you want to give everything in the world to them, but you have to balance that out and give to Steve because energetically your kids aren't doing it. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, but yet Steve just wants to give because you love so much, and everybody understands that energy, but it's not healthy because then there's nothing left in Steve's cup, right? And it's one thing if there's a positive, healthy energy exchange, so you feel in your heart. If you don't know how to do this, I'm not saying take everything away from your kids. That's not what we're saying here. What we're saying here is that this is about being in your heart for you. So in order to learn these new boundaries, these new ways to do things, ask love that you do know. Ask love what you should do before you give them your credit card or before you send money for them or before you do anything of the things that we know that you do because you're such a lover. That's what makes you so beautiful, is that energy in you. But you can no longer in the new world especially sustain that level of giving, not because you don't have the funds, but because it is not healthy for you energetically. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't keep giving to somebody who never gives back. And you know what I'm talking about. And so how do you then give? Ask love what to do. The second you get on the phone with them and they're telling you they're having a hard time, ask love, what should you do? And they may say, do nothing. You know what I mean? Or suggest this. Give them something in a different way to give them the tools that they need to create what it is that they need without having to give them the dollars and making it easy for them. It's not that it's easy, it's really a crutch that stops them from moving forward in their dreams and their lives. It's kind of like my kids just started doing work, like they started door dashing, right? And they started doing work, right? And they're learning things that they need to learn that I can't teach them or they can't do working here at the shop. It's just giving them the independence and the freedom and the way. And I didn't do this. They wanted to do it, and I said, go. Because there's earth world learning and experiences here and guidance that we can give them and that they must get from actually doing in the earth world. So this is coming in, but that's also going to be healthier for you. You're going to find you have more money in your pocket across the board. And they're saying to me they have a whole financial plan for you as soon as we sit down and work on these things. Does that make sense? They're telling me you're a lot more fine than you think you are. It's just this is a new road and you don't know how to travel it yet. Do you see? Very simple. So we ask God for the best way to do so for love, the best abundance, the best gifts, the best boundaries, the best tools, and the best of everything from love for you and them and all of us, from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us. Yeah, you got this. All right? Yeah. So all that stuff feels really good for you. And the best thing for you is the one bedroom, you know what I mean, where you just have a bedroom kind of thing with your own private bath, shower, and entrance, where you don't have a whole apartment because it's all bullshit. It's not anything that you need, right? So this is about streamlining the practical for what you need, and ultimately you're going to be happier. This is less to clean, less to be responsible for. Do you know what I mean? You know, you don't have to invite anybody over. There's lovely things to be said about small. Large is is not always better, right? And this is to teach us to appreciate everything, from love. Larger is not always better. It means more bills, more responsibilities, and do we want that? Sometimes we have to go through these experiences of bigger houses, of, being with other people to decide, oh, this doesn't work for me, or maybe I need to do this in a different way. But we literally have to do it in Earth World more often than not. That's why we're in Earth World, to get it fucking through to us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that's for all of us, right? There's crazy shit. That's why Earth World is so magic. It's about doing in Earth World, doing. All right. So you good?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. What time is it, girl? Do you know?
8:10.
8:10. Okay. Go ahead. Who's next?
I thought we'd have a love reading for Margie Edmonds.
Mm-hmm.
She would like to hear about her future man.
Okay. Margie Edmonds. Does she have her birthday? Did she send us her chart?
Not to my knowledge.
By any
no.
chance?
Mm-mm. She
Okay.
just put it like she wants to know about her future man.
Okay, so God, what's the God's honest truth for Margie Edmonds with her future man? If you can send, do you know how to send your chart, Margie? If you can, do. It just helps me to get more insight into it in different ways, okay, for you. But what's the God's honest truth here, God, for Margie with the man thing? What, anything about it? Man can't come in unless you get out there. That's the biggest thing that comes in right now for you with the man thing. There's something about you, again, Earth World, getting out there and doing and meeting new people. I feel like it's through humanitarian work where you're going to meet some kind of partner doing something for the community. It could be anything, organizing events, doing something for elderly people, planning like a movie night or something for society, anything. Soup kitchen stuff. Let's see. It comes in as you doing and getting out there is how they're going to come to you, or how the partner, you're going to meet the partner. I don't feel like you're going to meet them at first. And no, I feel like it's going to be a twin thing, a twin flame kind of thing. It comes in, I feel like, by next fall, October, November, December is when it comes in. It could come in the spring, summer solstice of this year. These things usually come in during those time frames. Let me just see. But I feel like you may meet him between now and spring, summer, fall solstice. But you're not going to know that it's him yet. It's kind of like you meet somebody and you're like repulsed from them by them, or you're not interested in them and you wouldn't even think about it. And then 2 or 3 months goes by and something is triggered in the stars in your soul, and then you awaken and he awakens, and it is time for this meeting and for this healing under agreement of your destinies. What you decided you both came into work on together and do. This is I feel this partner is a high-end spiritual journey for you, a big transformation for both of you. Strangely enough, I feel like once you get to that place, as you realize, as you really connect, I feel like you guys may just move in together, like right away. There's my friend who, I don't know if I thanked you, Charmaine, but thank you for your donation. I fucking love you, girl. I just want to, say that to Charmaine. I just thought of that around holiday time. She sent me a wonderful donation, and I just want to say thank you, Charmaine. And the reason Charmaine is coming in is because it's kind of like what happened for Charmaine. Charmaine was one of our people as well, and she met somebody, and it's a twin flame relationship, and then she ended up moving in with him pretty quickly. And I feel like this is the same kind of scenario for you. It depends on both of you and your destinies and your journeys, because remember, this is a spiritual thing. It doesn't mean that this is set in stone and it's the love of your life and it's going to last forever. This is about soul agreements for your best growth in healing and what you agree to. Doesn't mean you won't have a best partner. There's a propensity that it could be your best partner, but it's 53 to 57 to 63, 68, which is pretty high. In other words, but they have to be able to do the work, and so do you, the work on your soul, right? Because this is going to be like a relationship like no other that you had, right? And I think Charmaine went through this a few years back as well, but it just reminded me to say thank you to Charmaine for her donation. So thank you, Charmaine. I'm super grateful. And it was like a surprise when you do that in the mail and you send it to me in the mail. And you're awesome. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Okay. That said, Margie, the reason Charmaine comes in is because it's a similar thing for you. I do feel, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure many of you know Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott, he's got like a Sam Elliott kind of energy, an old world man. I feel like he has like a mustache like that comes down here. Like if you've seen him in like Tombstone, right? He just has his character. The character of this guy is going to be a lot like that. It's kind of lovely, even though that's like a TV character or a movie character, right? If you've seen the Tombstone with Val Kilmer in it, and it's a little old now, but it'll give you more of an idea about this guy. It's pretty cool, right? So they're giving me Earthworld tools to share with you. It doesn't mean that he's going to come right out of the Wild West, but he may have some of those traits where he wears a long coat and a hat, and he's got quite a lovely sex appeal, girl.
Woo. I could go for one of those.
What?
I could go for one of those.
My sister wants one of those. Totally get it. Okay, so that does come in for you. But there's going to be challenges there. There's definitely going to be challenges there. But this is the new world. But there'll be many, many really great rewards. So I'm excited for you. This is cool shit. All right. Okay. So who's next?
Jessie May wrote in and she says that her Jada puppy girl is dealing with a sty in her eye. They've done some energy work for her and cut the cords to free her from any unwell shit that Jessie has going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any guidance from love for them and what they can do to further help her to heal this, or any messages on this?
Yeah, what's the God's honest truth, God, that is best for Jessie May? And her dog's name is Jada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know we've talked about Jada in the past. All right, God, what's the best gifts, tools, love, energy, magic for Jada? God's honest truth, best solutions for what's going on with her. Just ask. When I get in her space, is there anything else there going on? Is what I want to know. Does she have any other chronic stuff going on? Right now, I feel like there is, but it's like little things that you're not like noticing. Because they are so subtle, right? Like we as people do that with our health too. We like get numbness in our finger and we just, write it off that we don't, we see it and we're like, oh, that just must be because I sat on my finger or I twisted my finger or something, or we hear ringing in the ears or, so there's like little health symptoms here, with her. One of the biggest things that comes in is that, you're worrying too much about the dog. Like massive worrying, Gemini stress, like we talked about in the beginning, that Gemini energy, that intellectual energy, that anxiety stress, you worry, and I totally get that because I do the same fucking shit. So all energy, that's all that, clear it out of us. Free us from it emotionally, release it emotionally, clear, heal, and change all of this. And for your baby dog, and I call her a baby dog because she's one of your babies. Thank you, God, for that for us, from love in the purest form, clear anything that stops her from being well as well. With all of this, truly well, and stops us from healing, and anything that's stopping her or Jessie from not being able to see, where you're not seeing the God's honest truth, where is she not seeing the truth, right? Because the dog is taking on your stuff for you. So, and I feel like this is in a power energy where you giving up your power and not able to see where you're doing that. So this comes in with your dog. As soon as you get a handle on you and where you're giving up your power, and you can see where that is, the dog's eye is going to heal. The other thing that comes in is number 3, cell salt, as well as what is it, the other two? 10, 11, and 4. Okay, so what we're going to do is you do them separately, or you can PM me and I'll tell you how to do each of these things and for how long. This way, we'll get that for you on personal messenger, so you have, if you want to go down that route. Also, watch what she's eating, but the biggest healing needs to come where you're not seeing, where you're out of your power, because she's your baby, she takes on your stuff. So clear, heal, and change all of this, God, for all of us, and heal this now, please, and release all of this energy with all of us from love, and put the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you for these gifts now, please, of the answers to all of this, the release for all of this, the best healing gifts, tools, everything we need now for Jessie and Jada and all of us from love, and all the answers, understanding everything we need from love now, please. Best releases and healings with all this. And thank you, God, for that for us and our souls, and who we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is, and the best way for us to know something better. Thank you, God, for that for us. There's something about wheat in your dog's diet, wheat and chicken, which cause inflammation. Wheat, chicken, and eggs. So see what's in your dog's food and see if you can't pull that out, because that, I feel, facilitates this and stops the healing. Okay? Let me just see what else comes in. Yeah, they're saying that these should be good now. All right, let me know how it goes with the cell salts. Just text me if you want to do that, and I'll tell you which ones we get for everything. Okay, girl? All right, thanks.
She's funny. She says she does have hypothyroidism, and she's 9 and has some occasional issues. She says she's definitely way too obsessed about her well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah, she says, working on me and my shit to stop passing this off on her. You're so right. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, God, for this for us.
Oh, God bless you, girl. I get it. Totally get it, you know? It's fucking crazy, right? Especially like with placements like Mars and Virgo and Mercury and Scorpio. It's like fucking A, you know? It's like zzz. It's like you can't turn off the mind. Yeah, it's crazy. So it can be pretty rough sometimes, you know. Sometimes I bang my head. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I missing? What am I not getting, you know? So totally get it. Okay. All right. So who's next?
Casey Marie would like a 5, please.
Hi, Casey. Good to see you. I see your boys. They're adorable. Oh, my God. And you're a great mom. They want me to tell you you're a great mom. And you should be proud of yourself, girl. Okay. All right. What's for Casey Marie, God? Are you looking for a new house? Because there's something about you're going to start looking for new housing. I feel like you may end up moving for whatever the reason is. And when I say for whatever the reason is, it could be because of the ex and the issues there. But I feel like it's even beyond that. I feel like you're outgrowing the place that you're in, or something about the energy here. So there's a possibility of you moving in the 6 to 8 to 12 to 14 to 16 to 18 months into the future. It could come as quickly as next week, but it could take as long as that. There's some things that need to be worked out. I feel like for you and your family to be comfortable with this first, okay? So there's something about you thinking about moving. It's in the stars. It comes in as moving, readjustments from with your family, with your house, with your home. And this has to do with starting a new life for you and for them and your family, living your dreams by moving into a new space, cutting ties, cutting cords, being free, moving into a new space with this for you. So that you can step into your dreams and be free of all this other energetic garbage that has kind of plagued us from the past and keeps on plaguing us. Let me see. Also, it comes in about a new school system, a good school system, a different school system, and I feel like it's going to be private. If you don't do homeschool, it's going to be private. New schools are going to be opening up everywhere, or new spaces where people are going to start their own schools because of the problems that are going on. So things are starting to progress in areas and ways that they need to. For the changes in the earth world, right? It's kind of funny because I did a reading for a gentleman today who came into the shop, and It's pretty insane. Where there's God, there's a way. So like just like a black market, like everything from shot vaccination, fake shot vaccination cards to, gun running to, as crazy as this all sounds, right? Wild stuff in markets and things, because the new world is vamping. You see, where there's God, there's a way. So people are going to be figuring out in their hearts, guided by higher knowing of God and love, new ways, new schools, new healthcare, new ways to do things, everything. And gun running may sound really fucking crazy and nuts, but at the same time, this is about freedom for the people of America, right? So, and this is also, I'm not advocating for anything that here on my live show, but these are the things that are going to be happening, right? Because the God spaces within the people are being activated, and this stuff must be changed. All right, this is about the battle of dark and light. So you will be looking and finding new schools, new system, new ways, new people to help you through these times with your children. And I feel like the move, the education and the people are going to have everything to do with this move as well, because they kind of go hand in hand. Doesn't mean you're going to be going with traditional earth world school systems. Those are really dead. It's kind of like my mom was like getting on my ass about how my kids need their degree and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not fucking letting my kids get their degree in a space of hate. I'm like, they can fuck off. With universe and God, there is a way to do everything, and your heart will lead you there. Ask and you shall receive. And the same is true for my kids, whether they get a GED or continue schooling out here by themselves or in different ways. Everything that your soul is supposed to do, it will do, not because society forces you, but because love decides your best journey with your heart. And you work with God or love for your greatest life. And that's for all of us. You decide your future, not them. Not them, right? So, and the same thing is true, when they teach hate and all that garbage, you decide whether you are going to employ that or not, right? Whether it's a vaccination or getting your kids vaxxed or, having your kids go to school and teach hate. Because the truth is, your soul with God is going to bring you everything that you need in this life and beyond infinitely. And the more you work with that love and the more you follow your heart and the more you be in your heart space in the new world, the more great and amazing things are going to happen. So I do see a great destiny for you, because you are doing that, Casey, right? Feel. This is all about feeling in your heart what is right with everything you do. That's what the new world is. Even if you don't talk to God in the way that I do, whatever you feel in your heart and you start working with love, right? And feel what to do. Ask love, right? However you need to do it, but make sure you're in alignment with that so you always have the best outcome, because love wins and love is all the power, okay? So, I feel like you got this. Those are some good things coming in. I feel like you're also going to be looking for different after-school activities for your children as well, new creative things coming in, and you may start some kind of group in reference to this, because I feel like you having all this Aries energy in you, you want things that are exciting and things that are doing things and things that are active and kind of like get off the fucking internet and into your heart and into real world and into earth world, whether it's, boating, canoeing, swimming, camping, it could be Boy Scouts too, but I feel like even that needs to be revamped from the old ways. I mean, it's, it's when I get in that space, it feels stale and almost like, I don't even want to say the word that comes in. So try to stay away from that unless there's like a new world group that you start yourself, or you ask God for the best kind of group like that for you, okay? And for your children, right? From love. Okay, so this all comes in for you. So I feel like these are some new doorways and new things that are opening up for you into your future and with your kid, and these things are coming in the next, like I said, 6 to 18 months, starting now. So it doesn't mean it has to be then, or that's the deadline. It's in this window somewhere, and your soul picks and chooses what is time, and guided by the stars, right? And your heart. Okay, so, all right, so you're good. Who's next?
Jacqueline Dorn is new here, she says, and she would like a chart reading.
Hi, Jacqueline.
I think she was here last week too, and so she was kind of looking for a Venus Libra one.
Okay, so you missed last week, right? You got it. Let me see what we got. October 24th. Cool. Okay, so what I have you as, Jacqueline, I'm going to show everybody your chart, but you can see here the difference between Molly's chart and Jacqueline's in the transit, okay? See how less active Jacqueline's is? It's like incredible difference from Molly's. Molly's a beast. I love Molly. Molly's a beast though, yeah. Meaning she's got a very, very old soul. And so, there's lots of work to do there. And just like me, man, I mean, the story of our lives. So, but at different times in our lives, we have more challenging aspects and things to work on. So it's not that Molly is bad. We love Molly. It's just right now Molly's going through a lot, right? And we all are really. But different times we are going to be going through a lot in each of our lives, depending on our soul's journey, what we've came in here to do, what we're stepping into, the level of God or the level of love we are at, vibrational wise, and the grand plan of all that is God across the board. Okay, so there is never anything that's wrong, so to speak, with any of this. Oh, stop. I'm just trying to get this to pull up here. All right. So, Jacqueline, you missed your love reading. What do we have for you? God's honest truth. Where do we need to go and find? We got a transit chart and your natal. Okay, where is your Libra? Or your Venus. I always call it Libra. That's one of my things God guides me to. Okay, so it's actually your Venus. And I'm looking at that. And it's conjunct your Mars. That in itself creates some challenges. Venus-Mars conjunct because they're kind of opposite. But if you get a handle on this energy, you will free yourself from this. And this is in that Sagittarius. And this is in your third house. Interesting enough. Your third house starts in Scorpio, and you look to me like you are October 24th. The changeover, I believe, is the 23rd. So you're a Scorpio Libra. I'm a Libra Scorpio. So, me and you would understand each other. Easier than, let's say, somebody who was at just a counter different space, let's say, with chart aspects. Looking at this, all right, so there's going to be some challenges in your life. There's also your South Node is there, and so this is about the past. All right, so in your love relationships, you are going to have challenges, and with Libra and Mars or Venus and Mars, okay? And what's wild is it is in your third house, right? So in your third house starts in Scorpio, and Scorpio is about the truth of God, God's honest truth. Getting to the bottom of whatever that is, right? And it's interesting that your third house is ruled by Mercury, all right, and Mercury retrograde. That's what we're in right now. But your third house starts in Scorpio, but here's the behind the scenes where it goes into Sagittarius. Now, the tricky thing about Sag is about freedom, right? Sag is about freedom. So what's coming in for you with this chart reading is this is about healing these aspects, these contradictory things in you, right, that are Venus and that are Mars and that do not work together. And this is about from lifetimes. That's why your South Node is there in the third house. And this has everything to do with the way you think, communication, thinking, speaking, and also with your Mercury. I want to see where your Mercury is, right? Interesting enough. There it is. It's in Scorpio, right? Mercury in Scorpio. So again, getting to the bottom of all the truth, of the truth that is God, so that you can free yourself with these relationship issues that you got going on, right? But also you can meet your lover in anything related to Mercury, thinking, having your Venus there. You need a partner that's going to stimulate you mentally, right? You're going to be bored as fuck with somebody who, let's say, is an intellectual, right? Mercury is Gemini and is Virgo, right? So having your Venus in the third house, you're going to need somebody who stimulates your mind, right? Me too. It's like I need somebody who's going to be intellectual, right? First and foremost, I don't care how beautiful somebody is. Yes, I like beautiful things. Libra, Venus and Libra, right, is beautiful things. But the biggest issue is it doesn't matter how beautiful you are if I can't connect with you here intellectually, right, or wisdom-wise, then it's never going to work, because you need somebody to stimulate you in that way. And the thing about Mercury or Gemini is it gets bored as fuck right fast, right? So what would happen is, you'd be like going with somebody and you're like, oh yeah, I like this guy, right? And you go, or this partner, and you go and you be with the partner, right? And then you've been out with them like 2 or 3 times, and then they're like the same boring thing. Well, then you're gonna be like, you're gonna search for somebody else, right? Or whether you realize it or not subconsciously, because this is the nature of Gemini. There's a hard energy here that if it's not satisfied and gets what it needs, that it exits. It doesn't have a lot of patience. That's how Gemini rolls. It's all these. Think of Gemini as one of the most top creative signs in the intellectually in the zodiac, right? So what it does is it explodes all these fucking ideas, right? Boom, 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 right? But that's how it works with a lot of things. That's also how I do my work. I have Sag rising, so my opposite sign is Gemini. In other words, my descending is Gemini, right? And I have a lot going on in my third house with it, which is Gemini. So I need to be stimulated, right? And all these things, boom, 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 those are all your ideas, your creativity, right? So the thing about Gemini is they're super gifted, right? But they also become extremely bored easily, right? One of the challenges is following through, right? So you're not going to be the guy who's necessarily going to follow through on a relationship before you get bored first and be like, fuck it, oh, that guy over there is kind of hot, let me go out with him, right? And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but in a healthy space, it can be a great thing. You can have a partner who's really super exciting and stimulates you. So, but you definitely need somebody who is intellectual, where you could sit down and, let's say, have a glass of wine with this person and really enjoy their company and talk for hours, cool shit, right? And sit around a fire, because that's really what you need. It doesn't mean you don't like to go out and have dinner and don't go out and do stuff. You absolutely do, right? However, there's some challenges in there about balancing that energy and being able to follow through and getting your needs met, as well as in communication and speaking. All right, so these are things that come in for you with this reading right now, super important, okay? Next month, I could read this chart again and come up with something different for you, depending on what God and universe guides me to as the best wisdom for you with what we're doing. Do you see what I'm saying? So everything is pertinent to the now. It's ask and you shall receive. What is the best reading for you for right now for this love reading? And this is it, right? So universe will give me that. But 2 months from now, you may ask me again, what's going on with my love life? I may pull up the same chart. Some of these aspects in the transit will be completely different, but it may be the same exact chart, but this time universe is showing me different things, do you see, for different guidance, wisdom, gifts, tools, and to answer the questions when I ask and I receive, right? Okay, so this is so everybody knows that we don't just do astrology, we do what I call God astrology. It's working with universe, love, God in all ways to create your best outcome with all the tools and gifts of love that God guides us to, okay? And anything I can do, you can do. Okay, so this said, your opposite house is Sagittarius, and that's where your north node is, and it's in, what the fuck, man, it's in Gemini, right? There you go. Your north node is getting a handle on this energy for your greatest gifts, healing, dreams. So for you to have your best relationship, it behooves you to work on this stuff. Otherwise, you're going to constantly have challenges, and I feel like you have all your life with relationships, some challenges. And it's interesting because on your ascending is in Virgo, and you have so much going on, just even right there as well. You have your part of fortune, you have your Uranus conjunct Pluto at 17 degrees. Woo! And it's almost conjunct your ascending, and that's about, storms, like, and again, Virgo is ruled by Mercury as well, right? Virgo is the perfectionist, okay? So it's interesting because your ascending is there. So think about where you're a perfectionist and nobody is good enough for you, or you're not good enough for yourself. These are heavy shit, right? Those are just two things that come in right off the bat. But again, that's Mars and that's Venus, where nobody's good enough for you and or you're too good for anybody else. Vice versa. Do you see what I'm saying? Or you're not good enough, or you feel you're not good enough. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But anything to do like that. So there's contradictions in these spaces in you for your best healing. But once you heal this, I do feel there'll be a partner. I do feel there's a possibility because the North Node is in the 9th house, which is your natural house of Sagittarius. I feel like you will be meeting your best partner through traveling, long distance travel or local travel. For sure. Also through creativity, being creative. Anything that you do that is creative. You have Gemini in there. That's in intellectual thinking, talking, speaking, writing. That's your Gemini stuff. What else? You could even do public speaking with this. So it's going to be pretty interesting where you lead these things, where these things lead you to. I also feel that because your ascending is in Virgo, you have massively powerful gifts as a healer. Okay. And then your descending is in Pisces. Yeah. Massive, powerful gifts as a healer. And I feel you will be stepping into them. You have your part of fortune there. So your best destiny is in healing energy. And that could be anything. That could be being a nurse. It could be being a doctor. It could be being a holistic medicine person. It could be an energy worker. It could be anything that has to do with healing, just spending time with somebody, like a lot of times what happens is people don't think of these things, but when like old folks homes, going into old folks homes and spending time with elderly people who don't have anybody, or visiting people in hospitals, spending that time with them is absolute healing for them. It lets them know that somebody's there for them when, let's say, maybe all their family has passed on, right? So this gets me really emotional, and that's what people don't realize. There's a lot of critical care people out there also don't have anybody, because what happens is when people are dying in their family or they have a partner, the partner a lot of times will take off and then they don't have anybody because they're afraid. And it's heartbreaking for that person, right? All they have is their caregivers, right? So by people like us, like, whether it's a candy striper in the hospital or people going in and making the time to make a group to take, to go and visit these people and do things with these people and spend time with these people is super healing and super, super amazing. And I feel like that's not coming in by an accident that I'm talking to you about it and I'm getting all emotional, because it's truth of God. People throw away old people. People throw away. Society throws away sick people, and it's bullshit. Really, there's a whole code of ethics that the world has lost. It's fucking lost, and it makes me fucking wild. And this is Saturn. This is old world code of ethics, integrity, honor, respect, doing the right thing for the people who have come before you, helping others, coming from love, spending time, right? It doesn't have to be in the traditional ways of healing. Healing is in everything, metaphysical and earthworld. So I feel like there's a great propensity, if you're not already going through this avenue, and bringing this into your life, if you going down this route in this avenue. And I feel that your partner may also be tied into this as well. So neat shit. You have a lot of cool stuff coming from this reading that they're guiding me to tell you. So I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, wasn't it cool?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have anything to say? Any questions? Any questions about anything?
Can I have a question?
Yeah.
Anything from my Grammy?
That's funny. You know what she's saying? She's saying, no, I want you to leave me alone. I'm just fucking with you, Rachel. She's going like this. I would never say that. I'm just fucking with you. She's proud of you. And what she's saying is you remind her of all the deer. That's why we got those little blue deer in the shop.
I love those.
Yeah, that's like your grandma. That's your grandma. She loves the deer, and you remind her of the deer. And we know that you're a deer from past lifetimes, right? We know you have that elemental energy. And she's also telling me, don't get discouraged. This is not going to be like this forever. She's around you all the time. And she loves you very much. And she knows you're having a hard time. She's telling me that. She's also telling me that she wishes the rest of your family was as lovely as you. Yeah, that's heavy shit. But it's also truth. Yep, reap what you sow. Truth be told. But in your family's defense, they can always change that from love. as all of us get. And it doesn't mean your family is the shittiest people in the world, but you know what universe is talking about, your grandmother is talking about, right? And she says she's around you all the time, that she sent the deer. That's why the deer are there, because she's thinking about you. Mm-hmm. We got 2 new deer statues in the shop, and they're absolutely lovely. And her grandmother was orchestrative in sending those to the shop, because Rachel is a little deer, and from Elemental Lifetimes, it's really cool. It's really cool. And Rachel loves deer, and her grandmother loved deer too, and they have a lot in common. This is going to sound crazy. I feel like you were in the same deer family. I do. I do. And I feel like she's the matriarch. When I see her, she puts like a stag in there, but I feel like she's a bear. Like I feel like she was like a mother deer, but like like a cat. What do they call that? Corn-fed deer. In other words, she was like she knew where all the resources were, where to get shit, where to find all the food in the forest, and the people looked up to her. And how funny it is that we were just talking about the elderly and how people have lost respect for them, right? There's a reason with age comes wisdom, because we learn from those that came before us from love, right? So she really had her shit together, and she had that stuff in this life as well. Anything else from Grammy that you want to know?
No, it's just funny because she used to sit on her porch and watch the deer every single day. She knew who was in the herd, who was walking by, what time of the day they were coming by. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she loved that.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved that. Oh, she's telling me that's one of the things she misses about Earth World. It's one of the things she misses about Earth World. You see, we become sentimental sometimes. This is Taurus energy, where we become sentimental about the things that we miss in Earth World, and that's part of emotional releases, right? That's a lot of the stuff I'm going through, wishing that I had certain things from the past in Earth World because I miss those things in my heart, And so there needs to be grieving for that as well for all of us, wishing that it could have been different, or missing sitting with my father. That was some of the most challenging stuff. My father's all around me all the time, metaphysically, spiritually, right? But truth be told, I miss so much being able to sit here and hug him and love him, and just spend time with him in Earth World. And my heart just right now, like why I'm getting all emotional, because I'm releasing that. You see, because we have to look at these things and let ourselves grieve for those things like that we don't have, these changes of releasing that energy from us because we wish it could have been different, or we wish we had more time, or we wish that we could just have them hold us, and we all are human, and we all go through this stuff. And you got to remember that this is part of our emotional releases. A lot of times we don't let ourselves feel, and we keep on trucking down the line, and we lose people that we love. And we need to honor those things in us and release this energy emotionally and in all ways in the healthiest, best way. So thank you, God, for that for us always in this gift now, please, for all of us, from love in the purest form. Thank you, God, for these gifts in our souls, for everybody who so watches our show and who so desires it in the best way, from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us. Okay. You good? Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So.
Just so you know, it's 8:47.
Okay.
The next question I have is from Kinsey Nicole Cushman. She's asking, what's the difference in astral projection and lucid dreaming? She says that she's had 12 very real, very vivid dreams in the last 2 weeks of deceased loved ones that were real time. Any idea to help me interpret what exactly that was for me?
All right. She's asking a bunch of questions. You have the question there. Let's take each piece one at a time. Okay, so what's the first part of the question?
What's the difference in astral projection and lucid dreaming?
Okay. Astral projection is just done in a different way. It's a different thing from lucid dreaming. Okay, it's similar, but they're completely different. All right, so there's an energy about both of these things, right? Astral projection is kind of like when you leave your body and you're wholeheartedly like out of it. Like, when you really sleep hard at night and then you wake up and you don't know where the fuck you are and you're like, whoa, what is going on? A lot of those times when that happens to you, it is a sign in Earth world of astral projection where your soul like leaves, right, and goes into different spaces. But really, people think it's done externally, but it's done internally, going through portals in your soul. Okay, so you can say, well, it can be done in different ways, but this is the doorway that you're going through, right? That universe is telling me. So astral projection a lot of times is just going all over to different places in different ways, and there's different variations of it depending on each individual soul and their belief systems and their gifts from lifetimes. And that's with everything that is God, right? That's why one psychic reading is different from another, or one person's medium gifts is different from another. It depends on what their soul mission is. It depends on what their journey is. The space of God or learning that they're in, what they came here to learn, what they came in here to open up, what is being activated in their transit chart, as well as their solar chart and everything in their astrology or their layers of their soul that is connected to all that is God, okay? So all of these things play a role here that make astral traveling and lucid dreaming, just like everything and anything that is God, unique to the individual, okay? So there is a basic rule metaphysically of how these things work, but everything here is not going to fit into that based on your soul and your stuff and your beliefs and the space of God and the vibration that you're at, as well as where you are in your journey and what you came in here to do and what you're stepping into, okay? So this is complex, right? And it's not cut and dry, right? A lot of people, you could read lots of different stories and one person says this, and it doesn't mean that it's not truth of God, it's truth of their beliefs of this, right? So what universe is telling me, astral travel is where you project out, you go in and you, it's almost like, I feel like it's like a rocket ship energy where you're going places and you're traveling and you're doing this and you're going here and you're going there. And it doesn't necessarily have to be at night and in dreaming in the traditional earth world, I go to sleep way. It can be done in multiple different forums in multiple different ways, right? So it's visiting. So when you say, what's the difference? I feel like this particular stuff, when you astral travel, yes, you can spend longer time, but usually I feel that you do not. It's like a fast-moving experience for the most part. It is a very intense experience. And like with the lucid dreaming, they are both very intense, but lucid dreaming is where you are many times actively, consciously aware and working within that dream space, right? Where you create the reality you want to happen within the dream, right? Or you have the ability to do that, as well as the cognizance of what is going on. With astral travel, you don't always do that a lot. There are a lot of people who do, right? And there's different variations of all this. So you can be in these spaces longer, and one is not black or one is not white. It is complex, but they're similar, but at the same time, they're very different. Also, lucid dreaming usually happens later, like towards the morning hours, where you somehow are almost like in a consciously awake state, versus the astral travel, you kind of like, boom, you slammed and you're out of it, right? They're just different forums, different ways that these things work. Like the lucid dreaming, you can create what you want to happen, right? And in both of them you really can, but a lot of times you're not necessarily conscious of that. When you're lucid dreaming, it means that you're aware of what's going on. Not always are you aware of what's going on when you astral travel. I can't tell you how many times I've like fucking astral traveled and I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I have no idea where I am, and then it takes me like a few minutes to get my bearing, where like with lucid dreaming, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going in that space and I'm feeling out the energy with God, and then no matter what comes in, I'm working on shit and I'm creating what I want to happen depending on what's going on in that dream, right? Or and you can do this with in so many different ways in your dreams. Okay, So I hope that answers those questions. If you have more in reference to that, anybody just holler, okay, or let me know. And now, what's the second part of her question? She was saying.
Then she says,
More?
I've had 12 very real, very vivid dreams in the last 2 weeks of deceased loved ones that were real time. Any idea to help me interpret what exactly that was for me?
Okay. What does she mean by she had 12 dreams that were real time? I'm trying to understand what she means by real time. You know what I mean? Like, what is your definition? What is real time? Is real time the now, like right now, or it was so super real in Earth world that you would consider it real time? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to understand what exactly you mean. So you had 12 visits from loved ones. What's the God's honest truth here, God? What are you writing this stuff down in a book, a notebook? Because they're telling me to tell you again, like I tell so many other people, write it down, right? And the other thing you can do is you can write down the experience and what happened, and we can decipher it one by one and pull out all the pieces, and I'll tell you exactly why everything happened, okay? And to get you the God's honest truth of all the answers here with this. But I do feel like there's something about you calling in ancestor energy. Do you remember doing that? Because this comes in with that, tapping into people who you've known ancestral-wise through lifetimes and tapping into these energies, because there's something about tapping into those gifts, and this is why your soul did this, which is the number 12, which is the number 3, which is active God, okay? So your soul is meeting with all these people, these energies, for healing, for gifts, for tools, for understanding, and when you say it's in real time, it would make sense that you would say that because you're bringing that to real reality for you, those gifts and tools, that guidance, that wisdom, that ability to tap into that. But also this is about you stepping into your medium gifts as well and being an incredible medium, and these are all part of your gifts. But there's some kind of like energetic agreement or opening. It's kind of like I want to say, like, there's this thing in astrology that usually happens in Leo time. It's called Lionsgate each year, right? And during this time, it's about tapping into those energies. So I feel like this is like some kind of portal or some kind of energy that you are tapping into with your gifts, okay, that is like next level, bringing you to the next level to communicate with these energies that are these souls, because even though you knew them, I feel them in real time in this reality, and to bring those forward to this reality, but also through lifetimes, right? Through lifetimes, ancestry, and tapping into these energies, okay? So this is why this happened like that. I would still like your definition of real time, so I have a better understanding of that with this. Okay, what else is the question?
That was her original post. She's added more to it. She says, yeah, I randomly got sleepy, slept for 20 minutes and woke back up. I watched myself get out of bed, and I couldn't tell if it was reality or dream state. I was aware that I was in the dream, though. And then she says, like it was raining in reality and also in my dream.
Right. And that can happen, too, and that's just a merging of dimensions, a merging of dimensions.
And then finally, she's wondering, do you think it is selfish for us as humans to grieve for the deceased?
When you say grieve for the deceased, like when you lose somebody, it's normal and healthy to grieve. What you're grieving for is your loss of them in your life, really. Your, death is really an ending and a new beginning, and it is not a forever thing or the detriment that we have learned or society would have one believe in Earth world, right? So let me just see the God's honest truth here in terms of this. So really, when we're grieving for ourselves. Not unlike what I just said earlier about how I miss my dad in earth world reality, and even though metaphysically he's around me all the time and helps me with my work, he couldn't have done that in this reality when he was here, and nor would we either of us in this space of God that I'm in now, right? Or anything close to this consciously, okay? But my dad, I grieved for, I'm sad because I would just kill or just would love to just be held by him, and I miss that, right? So I'm grieving for that special connection and that special love and that special energy that is particular to earth world, right? That I can only get in this environment, in this world, right? That is unique to that moment, that real time that we had here together, right? So when people grieve, they are grieving because they miss that person. They miss spending time with them, and it is absolutely healthy. There is nothing wrong. It is not selfish at all. Where it becomes, grieving can become toxic, right? In multiple ways, depending on if we do let go of it, or we've so made our partners or whoever passed away our lives that we can't function, or we can't, or we become sick from it, or we've made other people our world, right? So there's a combination of, or multiple different things here that can go on that are unhealthy. But when it comes to grieving for death and dying, and sickness and losing people that we love, we even do that with relationships. That's what we do in relationships. I'm sad because me and my ex broke up, and the wonderful things that we had, we don't have anymore. And I can't go on the motorcycle rides, and I can't go out to eat with him, and I can't, do this. So there's part of me that would grieve for that and then would miss that, right? And that's all part of being human, and we have to let ourselves release these energies. You're right?
Yes.
Okay. My sister was doing some kind of freaky shit over here with her eyes, and I looked at her and I thought, shit. I'm like, is she okay? Is she possessed? So anyways, it was so funny. Sorry. Oh my God. Classic Jennifer. Classic. Okay. Okay. That said, so we're grieving. And that's normal, and it's healthy, right? So we're really, like people say, oh, this shouldn't have happened to him, or that shouldn't have happened. That's all part of our processing. That really isn't the truth, right? What's really happening is when people die, we grieve because we miss them and we love them, and that's normal and healthy. Okay? All right. So anything else with her question, or?
No.
Okay. All right, so tonight's event did get us to talk about dreaming and everything that has to do with dreams in your soul, or a whole bunch of great information in reference to that. So we're good for tonight, everybody? What time is it?
It's 9 o'clock.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. Thank you all for coming. Our next show is this Friday at 7:15. And if you can donate via PayPal, PayPal or Venmo, please do. Or any way you want to share what we do to help other people and help us change the world and get how things truly work out to people and solutions from love energy. All right. Our other show is Friday night, 7:15. It's Medical Intuitive. It is 6 and 12 Medical Intuitives, where you can come and answer and ask and get the answers for health questions, everything that is God or love in reference to that. Okay. So we'll see you next Sunday night at 7:15. Thank you all for coming. Super blessings for all. And thanks. Thank you, guys. All right. Much love. Thanks.